All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Greetings and salutations to all. This is Delvin, and I'm joined with Antariksh, and a warm welcome to all at MEIC Red Devils NCR. Big day today. The importance of this day just cannot be underestimated enough. It is arguably one of the biggest days, and it's one of the most significant Manchester derbies in the history of this long and historic fixture. It is a huge day. On one hand, stands City on the cusp of similar footballing immortality that we have, a team that is so effortless, so peerless, and so ruthless that every time they step on the field, a victory seems like a foregone conclusion. Yet, on the other hand, there is a United side who are cautious in their optimism, have every reason to be positive approaching this fixture, but it still remains a battle of the favourites versus the underdogs. It is the FA Cup final. The magic of the FA Cup final is such that it's arguably two of the best teams in the tournament who are going to pit their wits against each other. And yeah, Antriksh, before I come to you and talk about this game a little bit more in detail. Do like the video, do subscribe to our channel, and also make sure to share this video to as many United fans as possible. 2,500 subscribers by the end of this month, so please go ahead and show us love, and yes, go ahead, smash that like button right now. So Antariksh, entering into this game,
Yes.
what is your mindset and why are you shit scared?
मैं नहीं खेल रहा but no. Yeah, as you just rightly pointed out, it is the battle of the favorites versus the battle of underdogs. Kitna bhi, however, we painted with optimism or anything, it is going to be that, because this Manchester City side, they are on the cusp of football greatness, football immortality, and it just seems a very sort of unfortunate time to be a United fan. But on the other hand, if you just isolatedly look at our sort of mini rise from what we were last season and what we have been, it also seems an optimistic time to be United fans. So such is the nature. Hence why I think it's the perfect intersection of, how should I say, kismat, wherein after a long time we have our kismat in our own hands. And that is to say, we can also add to our recent glory of the Carabao Cup and also stop the relative glory of our noisy neighbors, which they forever shall be recognized as. So yes, man, I think काफी बड़ा day hai, and it's again the same things but just dictated in another set of English language, which is key. It's not just our cup, man. It is the cup for centuries. This one, it बहुत time बाद it feels like FA Cup is back. FA Cup means something. It's everything that could have gone, together into making this match a big match, probably some of the biggest games in this 5-10 year period. It could be one of them. And I think such is the nature of what City could possibly achieve, that we have forgotten about three-peat. We've forgotten about them possibly getting their first UCL title. That doesn't matter anymore. What matters is 99, 1999, and this City side not sort of getting their hands on the treble together. So man, it is so big. Some people were saying Inter versus City is probably the biggest game of City's life. I think for now, this is City's biggest game of their lives, because once they do that, then Inter Milan becomes the biggest game of their lives. So man, oof, big stakes, bhai, big stakes.
Yeah, you absolutely put it right, and it is a big game. Like we cannot undersell the importance of this game. This game is absolutely massive. You just cannot, in whatever way or shape, this game is turning out to be one of the biggest games of our season, arguably the biggest ever. So just to put into perspective, our form up until the semi-final, every round or every opponent that we have faced in the FA Cup, we've beaten them by a score of 3-1. I think the only outlier is Everton, where we won 2-1. I'm not exactly sure, but I think we've beaten each and every opponent facing us 3-1. While City, on the other hand, have faced the likes of Arsenal, the likes of Chelsea, and also the likes of Sheffield United and Bristol on their way to the FA Cup final. Both the sides have walked into these fixtures with comfortable victories in their respective run to the final. Bar United, who had to get out victorious of a penalty shootout in the semi-finals against Brighton. So there has been a bit of an early team news as far as the blue side of Manchester is concerned. So it is already confirmed that Stefan Ortega will be in goal for Man City. Now, initially, I thought this was a mind game, but then I looked back and I did see that Ortega was their cup goalkeeper throughout the course of the FA Cup, and it made sense that Pep would start with him. Uh, so, a brief eye test: Ortega is a better penalty stopper than Edison if the game does come to penalties. So, what are your thoughts on this? On the goalkeeping change. I mean, on one hand, it does give us a little bit of an advantage because this could probably be Ortega's first final as well as a City player. So there could be some sort of nerves jangling around. It happens to the best of us, man. The nerves are something that come to the best of people, and especially for City season, they are on the precipice of something great, like you said.
Yeah.
Obviously, being part of such a historic occasion would obviously mean that there could be a nerve or two there. But do you feel that Ortega at goal could probably go ahead and make sure that we have a little bit of an improved chance when it comes to sneaking in a goal or two?
I mean, the problem here with City is that they don't give chances. Like that's the biggest. Chahe koi bhi ho goal mein, the goal could be khali for that matter. I could be keeping that, but it's that they just don't let quality chances to the other teams. That is their sheer sort of how they narrow down the pitch and how they press relentlessly. But moreover, why I'm happy, in fact, because what see Ortega kaisa bhi ho with his hands, he's not Ederson with his feet. Let's get that clear. So that for me is a big plus altogether because Ederson with their feet is another man. We've seen who time in and time again, when somehow teams do actually manage कि पूरा उन्हें दबा दिया and they're pressing down and there are no spaces, they quickly release it to Edison, who creates a calm vibe across the stadium with one touch of his. And all of that sort of that 30-50 second pressure which the opponent creates by pressing it just released by a single touch of Edison. So I think whatever Ortega is, he may be good with his feet. I haven't seen much of him. He may be. And I think he would be because Pep is trusting him, but he won't be as good as Edison. So that let's get that clear. So I think that is where somewhere because we have seen we don't press for 90 minutes, we press in stints, we press in bits and pieces, and it's not the bits and pieces of earlier which means कि एक player करेगा दूसरा नहीं करेगा. It's bits and pieces as in हम 3 minutes सब मिला के press करेंगे, then we'll sit back, then 5 minutes हम सब मिला के, and the likes of Weghorst if they get a sniff here and there, they are pretty well at doing that. So yeah, the sort of only outright positive I can see here is they at least don't have Edison with their feet. So about the chances, I think we haven't really been the best at putting chances away. So I think हमारे लिए keeper doesn't really matter, यार. Anyone turns into anyone when they're facing United. So as long as we keep in check our sort of short range and short quality, I think that'll be fine.
So I think, bar that official keeping change, I think the rest of the City lineup more or less picks itself. There are not a lot of dilemmas as far as Guardiola is concerned. But when it comes to our lineup, our side, there are a lot of decisions that need to be taken.
Yeah.
So we all know who our goalkeeper is going to be. So there's no point debating that, or no point talking about the if buts of maybes of the goalkeeping situation. 3 of the 4 defensive players pick themselves. That is Luke Shaw at the left, Varane and Lindelof at centre back. Remains the right back position. Now there is a big dilemma here. You go with persist with Dalo, who's recently fresh off a contract extension, and also successfully naming all the players on basis of their haircuts in a recent video which was published by the FA Cup on their YouTube and their Twitter spaces. Or you persist with Van Bissaka because of his excellent performance in the semi-final, with a winger who is as close to Grealish stylistically as they come. Now there are a lot of similarities that you can put up with Mitoma and Grealish. Both of them love to cut inside. Both of them are very intelligent, very smart, and also have this very uncanny ability of drawing fouls. So, do you trust Van Bissaka's 1v1 quality or do you want Dalot's progressiveness against a side who will more often than not have the ball with them? So where do you stand on the Dalo Van Bissaka sweepstakes here?
Man, I just think there hasn't been a single sort of this big game where I have had complaints from Van Bissaka. He is on the money. He is like, अगर it's for me, अगर Van Bissaka को in games में नहीं खिलाओगे तो क्यों है वो club पे? Like it's that simple for me, because unfortunately we haven't reached that level wherein we're confident enough to keep the ball at the back and keep it rolling and recycling against the big teams. You know, bar a couple of them. But if we still talk about the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, and City, who do press their opponents relentlessly, at least this season, we are not able to keep the ball and play it around at the back for like a Brighton or a City or Liverpool and Arsenal do for that matter. So till the time we are that, I think Van Bissaka should single-handedly be the only person who should be. That is no shade thrown to Diogo Dalot. It's just the fact that because we can't do that, it's the nature of the game that we'll have less of the ball. We'll have less of the ball, and it seems to be sort of a nature of these big teams that all of their big players are sort of concentrated on the left side nowadays. I only Messi rings a bell on the right for a long time. It's like Vinicius, Neymar, Ronaldo, all of these left-sided players. And of course, I'm not comparing Grealish and Mitoma to them, but sort of saying in their own mini leagues, these are the left wingers which sort of come to my mind. So left wingers versus our right back, and I think that is where Aaron Wan-Bissaka flourishes, bar none. If we have that one player who we can say in some department best in the world, I think it's Aaron Wan-Bissaka in that tackling and defensive department on the right side. So I think for me it's a no-brainer. But then on the other hand, I can't really see a situation कि आपने उसको 2028 तक का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया और 4 दिन बाद there's a cup final and you say use it out. We are preferring a right back who we have not given a contract. So I don't know, man. It's going to be a funny old game. Had we had Solskjaer, it would have been no problem. We would have gone with a back five, and Aaron and Diogo both would have played. But of course, we're not going to do that. So let's see, man. I would still prefer AWB for sure.
Amit Bhai also agrees. He believes Van Bissaka should be the right back, and even I do believe that Van Bissaka should be the starting right back. My bias aside, my AWP bias aside, I genuinely believe that Van Bissaka's smart, and also we need to take into consideration this is not the same Van Bissaka who's pensive or who's nervous with the ball at his feet anymore.
Absolutely.
You can take the Old Trafford game versus City as an example. The progressiveness and the adventure that he went on time and time again whenever he had the ball. You
You
could
know
see
what,
for himself that.
Kelvin bhai, sorry to cut you off here, but even before this season, I've seen in Van Bissaka when teams are running towards him, they're tackling him. He's an excellent dribbler. He has this uncanny style of dribbling, which doesn't look good on the eye. It seems, oh, that he's jittering, but I've always seen, when there are teams sitting back against him when he's attacking, he doesn't really have that knack to cut. But when teams are coming, like defenders are attacking him, he has this jittery yet very effective style of dribbling that even before this season I've absolutely loved. And I've been in awe of, genuinely, because it doesn't seem pleasing on the eye. We've seen these reels and memes of the AWE chop which he tried at in some game. But that as you said, the Old Trafford game is the perfect example of what he can do, and that was City pressing us, and he is excellent against the press. He's absolutely excellent against the press. So yeah, man, go on, go on, go on.
Yeah, so not exactly excellent against the press, but you can see the positivity when he has the ball at his feet. He does not put those side rule passes anymore.
Yeah.
He does look for the forward passes. The only thing that you can say that is, like, if you're nitpicking, is that he is still hesitant to shoot. Which is something that he will have to take his chances if they do present himself today. Like, you cannot go back and you cannot look for a backward pass when you have the opportunity to take the shot. Just pull the trigger, man. You have a wonderful right foot on you. You can smack the ball. You can. All you have to do is just have the confidence to take the shot.
Yeah.
So that's one question answered. The next question is another tricky one. It comes to our midfield. Again, Casemiro, Bruno automatically pick themselves. It is the question of that third midfielder. Now we have two candidates for that midfielder. I'm not taking McTominay in this case because I strictly believe McTominay will be used as a defensive sub if or when we are leading. That is the only time when you see McTominay coming in to make a difference, to add that extra body, whether it's in the back or whether it's in the center of midfield. I do not see any other scenario for McTominay coming in. But Ericsson or Fred, another big question. Now, if you compare the two players, Ericsson clearly the technically superior player, the one who is more likely than Fred to pull strings in the midfield. But we know his limitations. He cannot last more than 60 minutes. He looks every bit of his age when he's tired, and his performances when tired reflect that. He's not the best when it comes and when he's hassled and harangued. Fred, on the other hand, entirely opposite player, technically very limited, but has the mobility, has the energy, and can put in those basic passes right, which is something that he did expertly when he played at Old Trafford, marshalling De Bruyne and making sure that he does not have much of an impact in the game. He was fully shackled in that first half. So, where do you go here? Do you go for the technical noose of Ericsson, or do you go for the relentless running of Fred, which will be definitely needed considering that we will not have the ball for a huge spell? There will
Yeah.
be a spell of what, 5 to 6 minutes where we will not have a sniff of the ball, and this is where Fred's ability to cover the spaces comes into play.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? So, Amit Bhai obviously thinks that Fred should be the third midfielder.
Yeah.
I am also, my inkling is also towards the Brazilian, but again, it comes down to he's not started a lot of games, and it comes down to that. So, what is your thoughts when it comes to the Fred or the Ericsson question?
Yeah. Let me drop a bomb. Bruno will not play in
He's
the
going to play on the
midfield.
right. He's going to play
In
on
the
the
midfield.
right.
There
He's
you
going to play
go.
on the
And
right.
sure, 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 sure. Yeah.
It's obvious. Bruno plays
Yeah.
right. Rashford center, and Sancho or slash Garnacho on the left.
Sancho on the left, that will be Bruno on the right, and Rashford up front, and then hence why we'll also have Fred in the midfield. With Ericsson and Casemiro. So I think that is the equation there. Key, I don't think it'll be between between Ericsson and Fred. I think, and I also think that is the perfect thing to do. I think you just cannot go without Ericsson in such a game because I don't want Bruno at right wing, says Amit Bhai. I think this I slightly disagree with Amit Bhai here. Damn. Oh. I
The
slightly
the
disagree.
cou- the countdown has begun four
I
and a
thought
half
I
hours
thought
in
Bruno
advance.
scored. I thought Bruno scored. but no. Uh, but no, I slightly disagree with Amit Bhai here, and I think you just cannot go with either. You just cannot not go with Fred or Ericsson in this game. Each have a skill set which we desperately need in this game. Ericsson, even when we don't have the ball, because these guys are so technically sound and intelligent, they can. And okay, his stamina maybe doesn't allow it properly, but I think he has that footballing brain that he does cover up spaces pretty intelligently, even when we are without the ball or with the ball. We add Casemiro's tenacity as well as Fred's sort of winning the ball back while seen and covering spaces. I think it's absolutely needed. And when we do have the ball, we have seen Bruno sometimes, just trying to. It's like uski ek aankh ho jati. Like he's like that Ghoda who's just seeing Rashford over the top and he'll only hit that one ball. But this is where Ericsson comes into the picture, wherein he just places himself. He sort of pre-assists, if you know what I mean. Like वो pre-assist वाला ball जो होता है, the assist to the assist, he is the master to that. He and David Silva for me have been the best players to do it. The assister to the assister, they just do it perfectly. Receiving the ball from Casemiro and identifying when Bruno's going to make that run, which will again cause Rashford to make that run, is like sort of Ericsson's, how should I say, speciality in terms of our counter-attacking play. So I think that'll be very important. We have seen Fred also when he does receive his Brazilian passport every now and then, he can ping a ball or two here and there. Plus his ball
Hope
winning
today's the
ability.
day. Hope
Yeah,
today's
yeah,
the
yeah,
day
yeah. Exactly.
where he figures
What a
out that he's
pass, by the way.
Brazilian.
What a pass. Assist of the season by Pichla wala, our
Yeah,
last goal,
for
I
for
think.
Bruno, for Bruno, for
Yeah,
Bruno. Yeah.
exactly.
Now,
So, You can
Yeah,
have that. So
exactly.
I think because you can't start with Garnacho, and even if you look at it from a player's perspective, you can't start with Garnacho. He's really a great asset off the bench for us. We saw it in the other game. Abhi wo thoda वैसा है, and he can actually. We saw it at Old Trafford as well, coming in from the bench. Also, we can't start with Weghorst. We can't start with Ilanga, right?
Uh,
Then that only leaves us with Bruno on the right, Sancho on the left, Rashford up front. That
Pelestri
automatically.
perhaps? Too big a
Sorry.
game? Too big a game for Pelestri? I think so. Too big a game for Pelestri. Too big a game for Pelestri,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Or
True, true.
hear me out. Hear me out. Uh, we go Fred at the 10, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And our midfield three becomes Bruno, Ericsson, and Casemiro. We've seen Bruno at the 6 work, and there is something about Bruno being that deep line playmaker that is just right. That there's something about it. I don't know what exactly,
So you're
but
going with the midfield four then,
uh, yeah, I am inclined to.
sort of.
I am inclined to. Yeah, I'm
So
inclined for a
Sancho and
4.
Rashford running off the shoulders then.
Yes, yes. So I
Hmm.
feel
Fair.
that's another very tantalizing prospect because I just think there's something right about Bruno at the 6,
Hmm.
because there is a long standing accusation of Bruno being a moments player looking for those Hollywood passes, and that number 6 position where he is as the deep line playmaker gives him the freedom to pick those Hollywood passes, and whenever he has the ball, it automatically becomes a trigger for the likes of Sancho, the likes of Rashford,
Yep.
or even
Yep.
Garnacho when he's coming in to make that run. Just run for the races the moment he has the ball and he just looks up. Just get on your bikes and just move. That see we know that we're going to play the transitional game here. We will, whatever damage we make, whatever damage or whatever inkling of an attacking impetus that we will have, it is going to be through that counter attack or that breakneck speed transition. That is the only way. Because, like you said, City possess so much technical quality that they will always find ways and means to kill this game with 1,000 passes. Like
Hmm.
it is City DNA now. So at Bruno at 6 also allows Casemiro to get away from the press a bit, do what he does best, that is destroy play. It allows Ericsson to be that free man whenever Bruno has the ball, because even City will be mindful of the fact that Bruno with the ball is a huge risk. Bruno at the right, I agree to what Amit Bhai says, because Bruno at the right will not see much of the ball. He will not see much of the ball, and even if he does see, City will know that Bruno from the right will not hurt. He will not hurt because of that propensity for that Hollywood pass. More often than not, I have seen Bruno at the right with his passes fizzle plays out, which is not something we need, especially at a final. We do not need that. So I feel Bruno at the 6 could work, and then you give Fred that 10 position where he can simultaneously cover for the spaces left, and also his running is his. If you notice, Fred's running in the penalty box is actually a very underrated aspect of his game.
Yeah,
While he
yeah,
does
yeah.
not do that a lot, the times he
Agreed.
does it, he always finds himself at the right spot. Whether he fucks up from there is a different question altogether. But having bodies in the penalty box is something that we will have to do. We will
See,
have to do.
यहाँ पर मेरे को बस as soon as you said that, like it did make a bit sense, but then मेरे को ये हो गया, Haaland and the role of Haaland which has evolved, actually when he was scoring goals in like even greater sort of impact and nature, around एक दो महीने पहले, before they sort of switched to this पता नहीं क्या 3-1 3-1 2-2-1 whatever formation they're playing.
Stones goes in from the right. Stones goes in from right back to centre mid, which is something
Exactly.
what Klopp has been trying with Trent also
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
fag end of the season.
but I think Trent does more of it on the adventurous side. What sort of Stones does is he has suddenly become a carrier of the ball, and a 1-2 passer, that third man run which we see, like he is sort of doing that. Like it's almost, I see De Bruyne in the CDM position with Stones running off him into the box, and De Bruyne trying to find him with like a couple of intricate passes. So that's pretty strange. But my point here is हालैंड का जो रोल इवॉल्व हुआ है ना, because he was scoring goals in number, but City का here and there they were dropping points left right, थोड़ा थोड़ा बीच बीच में, and people were actually saying more and more loudly in numbers कि भैया इसके 30 गोल हो गए, but that's not going to win you trophies. So then they've just switched to that sort of formation, and what it has done is it has actually made Haaland into a complete striker. What is happening is Real Madrid was the perfect example of it.
Exactly.
Haaland was Haaland was एकदम सामने. Carlo Ancelotti went with the same mindset. मैं पिछले साल वाला करूंगा. I'll play like Oli in moments, and let's see. I'll put the players on the pitch. He did absolutely fuck all about the wing play, and wings absolutely destroyed Real Madrid. Destroyed. So that was actually Haaland in action without the ball, which there have been a lot of criticizers for him about. It was just his personality that drew in Militao and Alaba who were playing there. So I
You
think
could
the wing should
also,
play.
yeah,
So what? ये इसमें बस मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि if you play that four wala thing in midfield, that wing who's gonna cover up for the wings. So that is why I feel इसमें ये होगा. It won't be a static formation for sure because our opponents don't have one. And one of the best things of Ten Hag has been his in-game management. So
yep.
I think possession formation out of possession would be different and formation in possession would be different. So I really think out of possession, it will be Sancho and Rashford running. It would be that. It would be
Has to
that.
be. It has to
It has
be.
to be. Exactly.
It
It
has
has
to
to
be.
be. It might as well be only Rashford could be running and even Sancho drops deep to somehow just because what we have to neutralize in City would be Rodri and John Stones. How they have been operating and then they just sort of create this, shell in the midfield with De Bruyne running free and then sort of people get attracted towards the midfield, which leaves the likes of Akanji on left back bombing left, right, and center. Aage piche. He has been made look like Roberto Carlos with a right foot. Itna matlab he has been so good at left back when Nathan Aki, whoever plays there, it's like a system which is going on. तो इसीलिए I feel यार कि out of possession ना हमें थोड़ा we have to sort of constrict ourselves in a way कि everyone has to contribute in a like again अब मैं formation को क्या नाम that's a different story
That's a
altogether.
very you can call it the ether. It's a Thor reference
Exactly.
where the ether is exactly fluid. So I think what we will see, what we will prospectively see, if things are going our way, is the replica of the first half at Old Trafford, where it was the perfect example of tactical chess, where both managers are feeling each other up tactically and playing as per the game. So I will not be surprised if I see a goalless first half in the final. I will not be surprised because
For sure.
because this happened in Old Trafford and it was a very thrilling spectacle to watch. You could see two managers who are absolutely playing chess with their players on the field.
Absolutely.
If Pep is having something, Ten Hag has something up his sleeve. That was the game where both managers were 10 on 10 in execution, but Ten Hag nicked it in the end. It did because both of them were at the top of the game. Because Pep brought in Grealish. Grealish scored almost instantaneously. Uh, Ten Hag brought in Garnacho. The tempo of the game turned upside down immediately after Garnacho's arrival. So you could see that all these changes worked, and expect the same this game, provided we don't fuck up. I do not see
Absolutely.
City. I do not see City fucking up. The only way is if we do not, if we do not, if the Liverpool second half version of Man United turn up, it is curtains within the first 30 minutes itself. It is. It is. But let's talk about something which not a lot of United fans are talking about. This is a very different school of thought, which I've been thinking since last night. Uh, Now, every United fan, potentially the United players also, will enter in this game with the mindset of stopping City from winning the treble. Now, in one way, this approach is right. But let's take a look at the past decade since Sir Alex's retirement. We are a team that has been strongly entrenched in the past. We have become the very thing that we laughed Liverpool fans for being. We've been reminiscing on past glories. I'm not talking about you and me in general. I'm talking about a certain
Yeah.
section of the fan base. We've been reminiscing on past stories. We're reminiscing on past. We're talking about what would happen if Fergie did this. Fergie still has a say in some of the important matters of the club. And we still think, or we still keep previous teams on a pedestal that this is our DNA.
Yeah.
Do you think that this adds further pressure? Do you think now, what should be the ideal mindset of the United players entering this game? Should it be we have to stop City from winning the treble, or should it be we should try and make our own destiny. Now, keep in mind, both these approaches or both these mindsets are not wrong,
Yeah.
but it is the case of picking up the moral ethical dilemma here. Do you play in fear of protecting what we did in the past, that burden of expectation, or do you play with a sense of newness and try to go ahead and write your own legacy? Because people will tend to forget that if we win the FA Cup, we've done the domestic double, which is something that is a good achievement in itself. Keep in mind, City have already completed a treble, which is the domestic treble. They did not
Yeah.
win the Champions League that season, but they swept all the English competitions.
Yeah.
So so what is your thought
I
on
think they were the
the
first
players'
men's team to
approach?
do
They were
that,
the
right?
first men's team to do that. Yeah, even we did not do that. So goes to show that how exactly they won. They will, if they win the FA Cup, it will be 11 domestic trophies in 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, what is your thoughts, or what? Where do you stand on the mentals mindset of the United players to approach this game is concerned? Do you think we should play for the treble or for the past, or do you think that this game should be the springboard for the future of prolonged success? Because
Yeah.
we're stuck in limbo, man. You can take any of the past 10 years into consideration, and you can still see that this team is still stuck on the precipices of the past, and this is something we have to get rid of sooner rather than later, because this becomes a malaise and then it becomes another vicious cycle where we keep comparing Ten Hag's achievements with the past. It just doesn't suit. It leaves a bitter taste. So where do you
Yeah.
stand on this?
I agree with you. I have been a vocal sort of guy who's been there and sort of talking about कि यार, all these people. Oh, look at how the standards have dropped. If Sir Alex had, अरे चुप हो यार. Had Sir Alex been here, we wouldn't have been in this position. Even with the shit, sort of ownership that we are criticizing, उस बंदे ने उसको भी उठा के he made them look like gold. So like let's not keep Sir Alexing every our way through our whole lives. Unko wahan par he's on the pedestal which we believe no one can reach. Let him be there. But while I believe that, I think काफी साल बाद there is that one sort of this is that one instant जहां पर हम लोग को अपने हिस्ट्री को देख के खुद पे प्रेशर नहीं डालना चाहिए. We should be proud of it today. We should be proud of it today. And I think फाइनली कुछ टाइम बाद हमें ना ऐसे I so wanted यार कि लिसांड्रो मार्टिनेज आज होता. This was a Lisandro Martinez game, not just because of his attitude. वो हैरी मैगवायर
Could have potentially been an Anthony game also.
Exactly, भाई एंटनी, Casemiro, Varane, Anthony, Licha चाहिए थे. ये like we wanted Bruno तो है ही चलो, like we wanted these characters today. We desperately अगर एक था, because ये लोग ना मतलब like दो तीन तो I would say they are like United sort of United यहाँ से. I would still say Varane and Casemiro would be our professionals of the highest order, इसलिए they are United right now. Under they'd still are Real Madrid boys, right? Because of the sheer quality and the sheer sort of gold that they've won there. But uske alawa, if we had these 5-6 players protecting what United have had, and not in a negative way, just in a way ki, like just shut up and fuck off. Like we'll show you, like this is our springboard to now jump. And like finally after long not just taking it for negative reasons, but एक positive sort of हमें एक springboard मिलता तो jump for it कि ये तो नहीं करने देंगे. So I feel चाहे कितना ही Ten Hag आके बोल लेना, it's about us. It's about us winning and not stopping them. There will be that. When you have Rashford, बचपन से fan, he's been our fan. He would have seen that team, coming out, and he would have enjoyed that, and he would have heard stories from his family, whoever, everyone, his mates and everything. And now he's playing for that club. He's the players' player of the year, fans' player of the year this season, and then he has a chance to actually protect that. Man, he'd be pumped for it. He would be pumped for it. Casemiro, I just see it. Then उसमें दिखता है कि he is that warrior. That ganda.
You need
I
to
would.
be. Do
Yeah.
you do you believe that today we will see dirty games on both
I
sides?
Oh,
On both
for sure.
sides. I'm not talking about United. See, we have players who fit the master of the dark arts role to perfection. But City play their game in such rigidity. They believe in the purity of the game. They believe in the aesthetically pleasing aspects of the game. But you have seen instances where City can play dirty, and they have certain characters to do it also. None more so than Jack Grealish.
Absolutely.
You can see that you can tell him whatever, but he is a
Jack Grealish,
shithouse of the highest
like
order. He is.
it's almost like हमारे players are the bullies, जो ऐसे चांटा मारते हैं, and Jack Grealish is the one जैसे चूंटी काट के भाग जाता है, and you can't catch
Ha!
that player.
Yeah,
He's
exactly,
like that.
exactly.
He's like that.
So,
He sort of hides behind the bushes and then फिर पीछे आके एक और काट लेगा and you'd not find him. He's that. So that I also believe, and I was talking to someone yesterday, and I also believe कि City का भी element होगा. Not as big as us stopping them from the treble, but उनका ही होगा. They have been the big brother for the past 10 years. चाहे हम कितना भी कुछ बोले. And now they see, even their managers, United is back, United is this, United is that, उसकी वो बकवास mind games. But everyone can see this time we are a bit back. We are at least जितना back हम हो सकते हैं, we are back. At least at this point of time. So they sort of we're growing and they बुद्धि पे एक चाटा बजाना चाहते हैं कि चप अभी भी हम हैं. Like they'd also have that element ki we're not letting you do the domestic double. So they'd also have this element ki shut the fuck up, we're still here to rule.
another thing is that they would not want they would not want to rub it in as other team as us. They would want to rub it in our faces. And
Absolutely.
you could take that Centurion season into example also, where had they beaten us, they would have won the Premier League, but we ended up winning that game courtesy of two Pogba goals and that Smalling winner. So they would want to rub it on us. They would want to
Even
rub it in.
Guardiola भाई, ये जो Guardiola बनता है कि ओ नो 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 नो, ये क्यों है यहाँ पर? इस साले के तीन तीन साल में इसकी खुजली मचने चालू हो जाती थी. He wants to. इसका sole reason is Sir Alex, Sir Alex, Sir Alex, Sir. He doesn't fucking say it out. I could see feel होता है जब ये बकवास करता है ना, ऐसे मीठी बातें करता है तारीफ करने के लिए. You can feel he wants to win that Champions League. And over it अगर ये उस पर treble कर लेता है, and then he has won the number of Premier Leagues which he has in the number of years. He would secretly want to be that pinnacle because there's already a debate started. हम United fans तो झपेट देते debate में कि Sir Alex par none. But there has been a consistent debate up due to the legacy he has created कि oh my god Sir Alex या Pep Guardiola like अब चल रहा है ऐसे ऐसे थोड़ा. तो उसके उसमें दिखता है how desperately he want. क्यों नहीं है वो? I'm here to stay, I'm here to stay. साले बार्सिलोना में नहीं रहा तू 3 साल से ज्यादा. बायर्न म्यूनिक में नहीं रहा तू 3 साल से ज्यादा. Everyone
No,
has
he
money. Don't
stayed. He
forget.
stayed four. He stayed four years. He stayed four years
Yeah,
there.
sorry. Yeah. But wait, that's what I'm saying. यहाँ पर it looks as if he'd want to stay 3-4 more years अगर उसका चलता
He's
रहा
already he's already in his 7th year, I guess. Year.
Yeah,
This will be 7th year. He's completed. He joined in. No, he's completed 7 years. He'll be in his 8th year. Sorry, he'll be in his 8th year. Joined in 16.
Really?
16. They didn't.
He
They
has
didn't
not
win.
won the league.
They
He has not won the league twice.
16, 17, and 19, 20.
एक बार first season में and the second time
And
to
then
Liverpool.
the Liverpool. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've won 5 times under him.
17,
right?
yeah, 17, 18, 18,
Oh,
19,
he's
20,
completed 7
21.
years.
Yeah, 7 years, and this will be his 8th. So he's been there for quite a while.
Yeah, so 8 साल वो रह गया. That's what I'm saying. He just wants that
Champions
piece of
League.
meat. चाहिए वो.
He
Champions
wants it.
League plus
He wants
this English legacy उसको चाहिए. उसको English football he has had that.
No,
affection.
the only way he creates that legacy is by winning the treble. That because you can win. See, there has been a talk of Pep, like you said, he's not won the Premier League twice. There has been there's been 2 instances in Sir Alex's career where he could have gone 7 straight, but it didn't happen. 2 instances, not just one. So there, in spite of him doing the three-peat now, which is a great accomplishment in itself, the Premier League doing the three-peat in the Premier League where only Sir Alex did it twice is enough legacy. But the moment that he wants to stand on par is only if he completes the treble. There is no other way that he comes.
यार मेरे को मैं थोड़ा सा अगर अपना यूनाइटेड बायस हटाऊं यहाँ पर I feel
He's done a brilliant job. Like there is
no.
he is.
I would actually मैं ऐसे कहने लगूंगा even if he doesn't do the treble even if he doesn't
He's
he has
secured
done
a
it.
legacy. He's secured
He
a
has done
legacy.
No. मैं English football I'm talking about management in general. Like he has done a sextuple. ठीक है? He's done it. छह की छह trophies. So he has done that treble part. No, English treble is not the only rule in the book, right? He's done the treble. Then he has one Champions League. If he wins another, that's two Champions Leagues. That is what Sir Alex won. Then he
Three.
has probably
It will be three. He's won twice with Barca.
yeah yeah.
Beaten.
Oh right,
He's
that
beaten
it'll
us
be
both
three, right?
times. He's
It'll
beaten
be
us
three.
both times.
Yeah, exactly.
He's currently level with Sir Alex with two
Sir
each. He
Alex
wants the third.
Aberdeen के साथ क्या
99,
जीते थे? Europa League जीते थे.
99 and 8 Champions League only, both Champions League.
No. I'm saying what did Sir Alex win with Aberdeen,
Aberdeen, he won the Cup Winners' Cup,
which
which
is
was
Europa League.
which is like the Super Cup, I guess, but that time it had a lot of significance. He beat Real Madrid though.
But वो Champions League नहीं था.
No. Aberdeen won the equivalent. There were a lot of trophies before, which have been abolished. So, in those times, those championships, those tournaments were significant. Like there was something which is called the Intertoto Fairs Cup or something like that. Then there was this Cup
Okay.
Winners' Cup. There were a lot of things. So I think he must have won something around that, and
But
then he went
so
ahead and beat Real Madrid in the Cup Winners' Cup. So
wait,
which is the modern, yeah.
So coming to my point, treble छोड़ो, he's won 6 trophies in a season, number one. Then so like, and he already has 2 Champions League trophies. अब
Which
मेस्सी के
is
साथ था, मेस्सी के बिना था that
which is par Sir Alex.
Sir
Both
Alex
of them currently have two.
already, and this is assuming कि अभी 15 साल और manage करने वाला है in his like career.
His
At least.
ultimate aim is to topple Sir Alex in the number of trophies won as a manager.
Whoa. And I think that will happen very easily. That will happen. He stays at City for 4 more seasons. That will happen. Of course, pura usme nahi, but to a cusp wherein, yeah, like he's averaging what 2 domestic trophies per season.
A year.
That is fucking ridiculous.
Despite going trophy, this is despite going trophyless in the first season.
Exactly.
Despite going trophyless in the first
that
season.
Is fucking ridiculous. And with the amount of money other clubs are spending as well now, there is no more bahanebazi of ये पैसे खर्च रहा है, पैसे खर्च रहा है.
I think now no one can get on that moral high horse of money anymore. No team can. No team can.
No. Exactly.
We speak about City putting in Arab money. We have put money of our own, so there is no point getting into the money moral high horse as far as concerned.
Absolutely.
So
that is
also
where I feel
United.
करे ना करे, if he continues like this, even at City, or if not at City, he fucking becomes an international manager, wins a cup there. What is there to be left?
Do you think next stage Syria or international?
पता नहीं. अब Guardiola is a very silent and but जो भी reports आती है, they suggest he wants this Brazil wala scene and Argentina.
Don Carlos going there apparently.
वही, मतलब not right now, but like आगे चल के he wants this South American flavor here.
Also, I read somewhere that United have much more significance to this trophy as well. If we win the FA Cup, we become England's most successful team in terms of trophies. We overtake Liverpool. We're currently level. So winning the Carabao Cup made us level. We win the FA Cup, we go ahead. So that's another angle of looking things.
काफी चीजें at stake, man.
Very, it's like narrative after narrative after narrative. This FA Cup.
We just sort of beat around the bush. I just realized. Now imagine Guardiola wins the. सच बोलना, देखो chat कोई नहीं मारेगी. Guardiola wins the treble. Is he better than Sir Alex then?
No.
Treble, 1 sextuple, won the leagues in 3 different countries. What we do in the debate of Messi versus Ronaldo, this is exactly Sir Alex versus Guardiola. This is exactly that. Like,
it depends on the projects also. Sir Alex's Aberdeen has-beens. I have not seen Aberdeen play, but we read. We have a lot of content material to digest when it comes to reading the teams in the past.
Wait, but like he doesn't. Okay, then he doesn't surpass. That's an entirely different. So, आपके लिए अभी भी Sir Alex would be. But
obviously.
Do you then think, considering कि उसके पास अभी 10-12 साल और होंगे management के, do you then think कि he is like on the cusp of edging Sir Alex or no? If he wins the treble.
See, he's already a brilliant manager. He's one of the greatest managers of our time. So, not because of the trophies won, but because the number of managers he's imprinted his style upon. He's imprinted his style of play with a lot of managers. So in that regard, he's already
great managers.
But I still think the Sir Alex comparisons still a way off, but yeah, like you said, there is still
ट्रिपल के
what
बाद भी like what is there to achieve भाई.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. Look at the stage in which that Barca side was. He removed the likes of Ronaldinho and the others, but you still look at that team. That team had Xavi in its peak. That team had Iniesta in its peak. That team had Messi in its peak. That team had the likes of Abidal, Puyol, uh, PK. All of these guys were either at their peak or were in the pink of their form. You had
But
Busquets.
yeah, treble,
That team,
treble, Delvin by
see,
treble,
okay,
sextuple. You
all
have to
right,
be.
I understand. I understand. But even Enrique did a treble, nah? Even Enrique did a treble.
Of
In his
course, he
first
did. But
season, he did it in his first season as well. Enrique
हाँ,
did
see, that's what
his
I'm
treble
saying. और
in,
फिर
yeah.
वो वहां पर
So
absolutely, but वो वहां पर रुक गया.
long story
And
short,
then Guardiola has continued.
I believe still some way off of the Sir Alex legacy. I think he's still some way off. Because
Hmm.
the Bayern team he invented was a super team. He inherited was a super team. The fact that he didn't manage to win a Champions League with Bayern is a shame. You put it any which ways.
नहीं यार, not winning the
No,
Champions League
no,
is
no,
never a shame,
no.
yaar.
Why
Sir
not?
Alex, Sir Alex won the Champions League twice in 20 years, yaar. Then it's of course there is a criticism that we should have done more in Europe, but it's never a shame. See what happens in football. मेरे को यही लग रहा था. It's so hyped up कि Guardiola यार उसके दो प्लेयर बैठ गए रियल मैड्रिड के अगेंस्ट and they did it and everyone was questioning Guardiola.
You do know that Pep didn't make a semi-final. Pep did not make the final of your Champions League until 2021.
See, of course,
Leave,
and
yeah.
ये सब
And look
stats
at the
बोलता
teams.
रहता है,
Look
but
at the teams he's lost to. Look at the teams he's lost to. He's lost to Monaco, which had a Kylian Mbappe whose testicles had not dropped then. Okay, he lost to a Lyon side, or albeit that game
I
was
see
a
all of that,
one-off
yeah.
knockout. Was a knockout. You still are expected to beat Lyon. Come on.
See, I do
You
see that, but वही मैं कह रहा हूँ ना 20 साल में हमारी भी 10-12 एलिमिनेशंस हुई होगी ऐसी चैंपियंस लीग से. एंड दिस इज वेयर आई फील कि हम लोग बहुत प्रोटेक्टिव हो जाते हैं. वी गो इनटू द निटी ग्रिटी. देखो इसके पास मेसी था, ये लियोन से हारा, ये इससे हारा, इसके पास पैसा है, इसके पास
But
सुपर
all this
टीम थी.
also, but all this will come into his CV also. No, it's like
See, it
it's like
will, but it will.
if you take a
It
basketball
will.
reference, if you take a basketball reference, you say MJ's won 6 finals he's played in, but they conveniently tend to leave out the part where he's not made past the first round. His record in the first round of a playoff series is 1-9. He's lost 9 out of 10. But people are very quick to put out the narrative that LeBron has lost so many finals,
Yeah.
but not talking about the fact that how many finals he made 9 straight finals,
Right.
nine
Yeah.
straight finals. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
people tend whenever, even if it comes to putting out the nitty gritties, people tend to leave out certain parts of one manager or a player and put in a part where it looks to be in the bright light. Here, I'm not discounting Pep's achievements. He's been brilliant. He's been one of the greatest managers in the 21st century. No denying that. But
See, मेरा
from my
problem with nitty gritty is Delvin भाई. मेरा problem with nitty gritty is he won the league without a striker. He's winning the league without a left back. He won the league without a CDM. He has done things that we mourn. हमारे पास एक right back नहीं होता, हम रोते हैं कि हम fourth नहीं आ पाए क्योंकि हमारे पास right back नहीं था. हम third नहीं आ पाए क्योंकि हमारे पास striker नहीं था. हम cup नहीं खेल पाए क्योंकि हमारे पास 5 बच्चे और नहीं थे bench पे. भाई, he has done it all. He has done it all.
Chelsea won. Chelsea won the Premier League with Victor Moses as right back, and Victor Moses as right back, and Batshuayi as a striker. Batshuayi as a striker. So I mean,
Batshuayi नहीं था यार. मतलब there were like
Batshuayi won them the league. What did Morata done? What did Morata do? What did Morata do? Chelsea.
Like he was there. वो नहीं चला, that's a different thing. इनके पास तो strike. See, वही मैं कह रहा हूँ. The problem with nitty gritty is तुम कितना nitty gritty जाओगे फिर. Because there's a lot then you can go. क्योंकि मैं यहाँ से बोलूँगा, वहाँ से
for me, long story short, he still has a way. Let's just put it there. He still has a way. Yeah, even after the Sextuple.
मेरे लिए I think removing my bias, मतलब I think लोग काफी touchy हो जाते हैं, but I think he'd be like in touching distance. He wouldn't still for me eclipse it for sure. He would be in touching distance, and I would, if I had to bet, then I think he would eventually overtake. And even if he doesn't do the treble, if he wins the Champions League and doesn't do the treble, I still think he would then overtake Sir Alex, because वो 15 साल अभी 2040 तक टचवुड बेचारा जिंदा रहे, he would be in management. And
हाँ
15 साल
obviously.
is like he's gonna win अगर 1.5 trophy भी हम ले 1.5 trophies as his average, which is very low for someone like a Guardiola. He would have 22, 23 more trophies, which is fucking ridiculous to
Yeah, I
think.
think he will eclipse. See, it comes down to the hardware one at the end of the day. If
Yeah.
he eclipses Sir Alex, then he automatically becomes the greatest in that man.
हाँ वही
So,
है, greatest तो
हाँ,
अभी एक ही है. I think for me वो second greatest है, the way you look at it. Some would call it Carlo Ancelotti, some might go into the history which I don't know of, और कोई manager होगा आगे पीछे. But yeah, he's there and thereabouts. But I feel if he wins that Champions League with City, काफी.
I think that is why he's still waiting. No, I think that is why
Yeah.
he's still there. I think
यार
Varun has made a pretty fair point. Like, look
नहीं
at
यार नहीं यार, this is
your
again
technicians. No, see, it comes down to the fact that, see, if
यार
we don't,
गुंडोगन, यार वरुण भाई, डेल्विन भाई,
if
गुंडोगन कौन था? KDB, see now you're gonna say
you're
KDB,
saying
yeah,
Gundogan
KDB
कौन
was,
था, that dude has won 2 Bundesliga titles with Dortmund before coming to
यार
City.
but यार see the 10 more players जो हमें पता नहीं होंगे अभी have also won it with Dortmund. Where are they now? So it's like you cherry pick your things. अपने like who was, see I get it. He won the league with Leicester, Mahrez, but Mahrez wasn't Mahrez. Laporte wasn't Laporte. Grealish wasn't Grealish. Sterling wasn't Sterling. Sterling is a fucking Premier League legend due to his goals tally. साले की बस की नहीं होगी उसकी आधी tally under any other manager. De Bruyne is a generational talent. But De Bruyne wasn't De Bruyne without Pep Guardiola. Now people will say वो 20 assist थे उसके, वो तो वेगहॉर्स्ट के भी थे ना फिर गोल वोल्सबर्ग में. So वही बात है, that is the thing. Now Diaz, what was Ruben Diaz? हमारे पास बहाने होते हैं. Oh, they have to settle into the Premier League. They have to do this. उसने कौन सा settling time लिया यार? He has come in and he's become a man. पूरा मतलब he has just solidified everything. Edison wasn't Edison. तो ये सब in hindsight Gundogan wasn't this world beater of the best box to box ever. He was in that, I would say, in the top 30 midfielders of the world. I would have ranked him, and top 5 or 10 in terms of box to box. Now he's easily in the top 3 box to box and probably in the top 10 in terms of world. So this is what Guardiola does. He gives Aki कौन है भाई? Bournemouth, Aki कौन है? Suddenly Aki, came out from nowhere. Rico Lewis, Phil Foden, the way he is integrated. Phil Foden, हमारे पास भी तो था ना, मार्शियल था, रैशफोर्ड था, ग्रीनवुड तो चलो अलग बात होगा, हमारे पास कितने सारे थे, कैमरन, बोर्थविक, जैक्सन. नहीं कर पाए ना हम लोग डेवलप. टेड एंड मेंगी वी हैव बीन हियरिंग फॉर 4 years नाउ. टेड एंड टुआनजे पे आगे पीछे, ओके सबकी इंजरी है, बट दिस इज वेयर पेप हैज टू बी गिवन द क्रेडिट. आई थिंक हम लोग नहीं देते हैं उसको काफी इस सेंस
no,
में कि
I
उसके
think
पास.
I do. See, it is I have
I have
yeah.
seen, yeah. I still believe आपका हो, but wait, मेरे को I still believe कि हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा like we still compare him to Mourinho. See, he did it, and I was a big fan of Mourinho कि जो उसने पोर्तो के साथ किया. I don't think Guardiola, but
Inter, leave Porto, Inter,
exactly, Inter and Porto United को हराया जब I was like,
and Inter treble किया. He did a treble with Inter.
what he could have done with Roma, अगर वो मतलब could have क्या, he's still done a good job with Roma ही वो. But that
He
is
wouldn't
where I
have
believe.
done a treble with Roma, but he would have gone that
No, no.
sequence with 2 straight European trophies. Uh, but yeah, he's still doing a great job. But he I think it's getting to him. I think you could see that it's kind of getting to him. 2 seasons are already done. We are entering the third season. We all know how third season of Mourinho ends in. I sincerely hope that it doesn't in that case, because they don't have Champions League football once again. But yeah, when it comes to, I think we've stretched this Pep Sir Alex debate a lot, and I certainly believe that we have to make sure that we still need to win this game, and obviously it is a tough ask. Munawar Bhai says City 3-1. It's weird. Well, big game players. Wout Vegas should start. All right, very interesting take there. Need a perfect striker. I mean, with the goals that Vegas has had, the by just 2 goals since January, do you really believe that Vegas is a perfect striker? Like, I don't think so. I genuinely do not believe. But I see the merit in having a physical presence up top. but then you still believe that, you know what, I don't think Weghorst is the perfect striker. Uh, Glory, glory, Man United. Yeah, overall, Amit Bhai believes that United can shock City in the first 10 minutes by attacking them. But the downside of attacking City in the first 10 minutes also means that United will leave a lot of spaces open. And like we've spoken about the technicians that City have on the ball, open spaces means trouble. And that trouble could easily result in a couple of goals within the first 10 minutes, which we will not be able to get out of. So that's a big problem again. Naman Bhai says Bruno could also be false nine today with Ericsson 10, Fred Casemiro pivot. Could be not. Bruno at false nine somehow doesn't ring a bell for me. But then it is an option that Tena could use, but I don't think he will. It becomes a double-edged sword type of thing. I think the only logical places where Bruno can play in this final is either on the right wing or maybe as a number six in the deep lying playmaker slot. I don't see him play as a false nine at least for this game. So one last question, Antrik, before we finally wind up.
Yes.
The last time a certain tall Dutchman played with the world's lights shining on him, uh, he scored twice and brought his team from 2 goals down to 2-2. Is this the day where we finally get that Wout redemption arc? Like so often in the course of this season, I have criticized him. A large majority of the fan base has criticized him. But do you believe that today is the day where he finally turns up? One header it all takes. One instinctive flick of that right boot, one instinctive hit. It takes. It doesn't matter where it comes from, whether it's your head, whether it's your nuts, whether it's your shin, calf, leg, toe, whatever. Do you believe that tonight is the night where Wout Weghorst wins us the game?
Man,
It is a story for the romantics, and
it is.
I normally keep my guard up against romantic stories, but you can just figure that in some way or the other, Vegas can have a very, very integral role to play. Whether it is in a winning cause for us or the opposite, you don't know. But you just feel that Vegas has a role to play in this story, man. You just do. Like I have this feeling. I'm not sure
Man,
how I can categorize it, but you genuinely feel like tonight's the night where Vegas will be one of those main contributors
yeah.
to this narrative-filled FA Cup final. What are your thoughts on this Vegas thing, man?
I'm resisting. I'm resisting.
You are.
I'm resisting a lot of shit that यहाँ तक चढ़ गया है मुझे. I just want to scream out. हैट्रिक मारेगा क्या करेगा 92nd मिनट मारेगा क्या करे. I I'm not मुझे वापस आना है इस चैनल पे बात करनी है आपसे. मारेगा तो सब खुश होंगे, नहीं मारेगा तो मेरी मरेगी इसलिए. No. Oh man, but how, you know, Igalo would be in tears first of all. Igalo को अपना बचपन याद आ जाएगा. This is 2 साल पुराना बचपन, man. But wow, like if there is one person who genuinely, if we are winning and I can choose one person to hit the winning goal, without a doubt, I will choose Wout. It will be, it will be.
Wow, without a doubt.
Yeah, exactly. Don't doubt Wout. I'd actually start crying, man. And
Oof,
he'd start crying. You've just seen the guy. कुछ भी कहो यार, ये passion merchants दिल खुश कर देते हैं ना. कुछ भी कहो मतलब. They're so fucking irritating. They get on your balls कि साले के intentions भी अच्छे हैं, गाली भी नहीं दे सकते. But but wait. They're like कुछ होता है ना जो पैसे के लिए खेलते हैं. तो एक बॉल
हाँ, he's not that guy.
He's that guy. You just can't. तो wait.
Bro, imagine if he scores the winner. Vincent Company fucks him off from Burnley first flight. First flight.
Even if we wanted to sign him just to look at the antics, हम उसे वापस भेजेंगे Burnley पहले. चल आजा पहले उसको ये करके आ. फिर आइए वापस. So that'll be fucking amazing, man. And
But yeah, man.
City ने Burnley को ही हराया था, I guess.
Yeah, City beat Burnley in one of the games.
Yeah.
Even we beat Burnley in the Carabao. We beat Burnley in the Carabao as well. So Yeah, man, there are a lot of questions. There are a lot of things to think about. But one thing is certain. Uh, I've never eagerly looked for an FA Cup final as much as this.
Oh God,
Whether
no.
it is United playing or whether it is not, there are certain games that gather your attention, irrespective of whatever team you support. And this game is one of those games where no matter who you are, what affiliations you have, there are going to be a lot of eyes on TV sets or in the
Absolutely.
stadium or in sports bars all across the world. This is the game that no one's going to miss, and rightly so. There are so many storylines, so many plot twists, so many potential
Hmm.
narratives that can unfold at the end of this game. But one thing is
Absolutely.
for sure, I don't see this game going to extra time. I believe this game is going to be settled in 90 minutes. I do not see this game going to extra time or penalties at all. I see this game getting settled in 90 minutes one way or the other. So I'm not going to
Right.
predict. This is the game where I will not predict the game. I do not know who's going to win, who's going to lose, but I do have a good feeling. I don't know what to make of it. Do you want to predict anything? Because I am certainly not in a mood for a prediction today. I am not. I just want to enjoy the game.
You're
I
right.
just want to
You're
enjoy
right.
the game. I just want to turn. I just want our boys to turn up. Or
Absolutely.
whatever happens, just turn up.
कौन
Just make
मारेगा
sure
कैसे होगा whatever will
just
happen. We
just
just
make
want a
sure
good game.
just give them the fight just give them the fight of their lives. It's that simple. Like there is no ifs buts or maybes. You have to turn up or you don't turn up. If you don't turn up, you automatically fall in the eyes of the fans, you fall in the eyes of the manager. If you turn up, there is always a sense of satisfaction that at least we turned up, we gave them the fight of their lives.
Worst
So
case
just do
scenario,
that.
we should turn up in a way कि उनकी कान पड़े अगले season वापस आते हुए कि ये hell yeah United are back. When the
Yeah,
next season
exactly.
they're coming.
So that
Worst
yeah,
case.
that is what it is, man. Like we are
Best
I
case, best case we see Harry Maguire and Wout Weghorst lifting the trophy.
that is
That
the
will be
ultimate that is the ultimate best case. You will definitely see Harry Maguire that with the captain's armband going into the Wembley
absolutely.
terrace and holding it alongside Bruno, which has already happened before.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who holds the trophy at the end. It is
absolutely,
as long as that comes in our cabinet. It could
absolutely.
it could be anyone. Like it could be Malasia who holds it, but it is our trophy. It is that like
Yeah,
that
yeah, it
satisfaction.
is. It is. It is. It
Like
is.
I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. If we win, like I don't know what my emotions will be all over the place. Like the very sight of just imagining a lot of things before it happens is a very cruel thing. I
Yeah,
don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that mindset. I just want to have a great game, and a huge ray of positivity is that Virat Kohli is getting into the stadium to watch the game from Man City's side. And if there is one thing that I know is that the Kohli jinx is unbreakable so far. And let's just hope that this goes in our favor for once.
let's see. Let's see.
Yeah,
मतलब, if we do manage to win it, and हमारा इतना times, 10 years, this, that, and we would have had the two domestic trophies twice, as well as a European trophy. It starts to shape up a bit better,
yeah,
थोड़ा
we've
थोड़ा
won the
अच्छा
Carabao twice. Yeah, we won the Carabao
exactly.
twice. We won an
We
FA Cup. We've won Europa.
we could have
We've
done
won
a
a
couple more Europa. काफी बुरा लग रहा है, but that's a different
that's
story
that's
altogether.
that's an entirely different
Why?
conversation.
Why? We could have done a couple of Europas, but उसको छोड़ के भी still one Europa,
At
maybe
least
two.
one. At least
Yeah,
one. At least one.
yeah, exactly. तो वही
And
मतलब
another FA Cup also. We lost in a final. We lost in a semi-final.
yeah, yeah. Wait. That Chelsea one was pretty bizarre. Yeah,
It was
that
pretty
team.
shit. Yeah. Even both the times we lost in the final and the semi-final were against Chelsea only.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah. तो वही, but keeping all of that aside, let's see, man.
Let's
खुद
see,
को यार,
man.
I
Yeah.
don't know, man. I don't want to raise expectations, but I can't help it today. पता नहीं क्यों.
I
I
don't know,
don't
man.
know.
I've spoken to quite a few United fans over the course of last evening and today morning also. And while there are certain who are absolutely terrified and shit scared, there have been quite a few people who woke up with this pleasant and this good feeling also. I being one of them. See, I'm no doubt scared. I'm no doubt nervous. It is a big game.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there is something like I don't think it's gonna be that bad. That's what I feel. That is what
Yeah.
I'm feeling. So make of that what you will. Just as long as it is a final for the ages, and if both the teams play like that, It's like job well done, like
Yeah.
irrespective of whatever the result is. It's like whether they give us a
So
fight or whether we
Casemiro, Varane aa gaye and we are scraping through to finals more regularly. Coincidence? Who knows? Who knows?
scraping
Who knows?
through. I don't think we scraped through this
No,
final. Like
scraping through as in कि हम लोग एकदम मतलब we've not played the best football, right? In cups also, like हमने थोड़ा हिचकी
that's a
आगे
sign of
पीछे
good teams. That is a sign of
exactly.
good teams.
But अभी तक क्या हो रहा था? We were scraping through everything. तो वो sign of good teams वो ज्यादा ही sign हो जाता है. That's like how that it's like you play shit only. You
But
somehow
this
win.
year, in both the competitions, the cup competitions, we've not scraped our way. We've won convincingly,
We
except the
have, but
semi-final.
नहीं score line is different. But still I felt जैसे Reading का
In
भी
bits
था
and
I guess.
pieces. In
हाँ
bit, not
Reading
not
भी था I guess.
reading, not reading exactly. I think Everton.
नहीं
Everton.
Everton भाई even Reading for the quality of the opposition and the team we fielded out. उसके हिसाब से I think we had to come back from या नहीं. No,
We
I
had
think it
to.
was
It was Aston Villa and the Europa in the
हाँ
Carabao where we had to
हाँ
come back. Where we had to come
हाँ
back,
right. Against
and it
Reading it
was.
was Casemiro who had to break the deadlock, right? काफी
But that was
time.
because Ericsson was injured also in that game. No, they were literally trying to kill us in that game. So
Yeah,
Andy
yeah.
Carroll had one job, like terminate
हाँ,
us. That
yeah.
guy was just doing that. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean we
Mumbai.
covered everything there is, man. The atmosphere is set. The battle lines are on the verge of being drawn. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, if I'm not mistaken, or is it a 7:30
7:30.
kickoff? 7:30
7:30.
kickoff. All right, it's a 7:30 kickoff. We are already turned up. We're already there. We're eagerly awaiting for 7:30 to happen. Or if we have to, if we have to quote Mahabharat, ये सूर्यास्त क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? And we all are eagerly waiting for the Suryast to happen.
Yep.
And yeah, and
Surya's on the city treble hopes, bro.
yeah, as well. We are hoping on a Suryast on multiple facets. And hopefully, when we do our job, we hope that Romelu Lukaku, now aided with the powers of Megan Thee Stallion, also turns up. And you know what I'm getting at. Yes.
Nice one. Nice
So,
one.
so yeah, all in all, a lot to look forward to, man. Thank you to all of you guys who've turned up in the chat, who've turned up to watch this stream. It's been a great fun. It's been great fun talking about it. Antriksh, once again, thank you so much for joining in. It's been a pleasure always to talk with you. And hopefully, the next time we join a stream, it is possibly on a very, very happy and a positive note. But even though, if it is not that, we will see each other's faces,
We'll
not
discuss the next
just
season.
yes, just not with the smile and the enthusiasm that we have right now.
Yep.
But yeah, what a game to end the season. It comes to that. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
once again, requesting all of you to like, share, and subscribe. Press the bell icon so that you're notified for every video that comes out of the channel. Also, follow us on our socials on Instagram and Twitter. Do follow us on our WhatsApp and join us there. It's an ever growing family. The off season might have begun, but there is a lot of things that we talk about. So we'd love to join you there. We'd love to have you on board with us there as well. With that being said, we come to an end of the stream. All eyes are on London. All eyes are on Wembley as Man United face Man City for the bragging rights of the FA Cup final, and also two different storylines like we've spoken about. Who emerges victorious? Only time will tell. But till then, this is Delvin along with Antariksh wishing all of you goodbye. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon on the other side with another episode. Till then, goodbye and GGMU to all.